Good afternoon, and thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Ask James. My name is James Colwell, and I am here to answer some questions and give a little bit of advice. For some reason, people think I know what I'm talking about. Anyway, thank you guys for being here. Let's go ahead and get into our letters. All right, first letter today has no title, you guys, and it goes a little bit like this. Hey James, thank you so much. We love you this way. Wait a minute. Okay. All right, I don't know what that means. We love you this way. But I have a question. I just decided to date this guy who's sexy as hell. I met him on Grindr, coincidentally. I was hanging out with my friend in a different side of town. One I would never go in if she didn't move there. I thought I deleted the app the week before. I've had bad luck with men from that app. They all just want sex. I checked the message from him. He was so sweet and genuinely nice. We chatted that day, hung out that night. He didn't push for sex nor try to throw a fit about moving slow. It was a plus. I'm in my early 20s. He's in his early 30s. I'm extremely mature and mentally I mesh well with someone that is 28. This man has his own place, works 3 jobs, and is very chill and laid back. I work and travel a lot for work. I love to party in and out of the clubs, do drugs, and get drunk. Okay. He doesn't at all. He also doesn't like effeminate men, yet my best friends are femme boys. Since day one, he has a short fuse, which I nip in the bud quick by checking him. He doesn't get disrespectful, but he will bluntly call out an issue and prioritize his emotion in the situation. It annoys me. My plan is to... Here we go with this proofreading, y'all. My plan is to my friend group as we get stronger. But I don't think he will like my friends or my lifestyle. Okay, my plan is to introduce him to your friend group. Okay, I got you. He also makes comments about country people and what's country to him. He's from Bronx. I'm from the South with a noticeable dialect. Hey, it's early, but there are a few red flags. I'll say to me, the good outweighs the bad, and the bad isn't even derogatory. We just have differences in our lifestyle, so I waited for sex and still am because this good box will get him sprung as it has done many others. I mean, James, I got some good and it stay wet, like hot and juicy. Okay, all right. Soon, too much. Soon he's gonna push to have sex and I want to. I just don't want to yet until I know yay or nay on a definite level. I love being around him and would like to know, should I address my concerns or just let it ride with hope that it will fix itself? Thank you, James. You're not gonna thank me when I get time. Okay, so listen. All right, so what caught me right here is when you said the good outweighs the bad, and the bad isn't even derogatory yet. See, the bad's not derogatory yet because you haven't introduced him to, there's a whole nother side of you that you haven't introduced him to, okay? Which is your love of your friends who are all effeminate. So, if it's so much of a problem for him to the point that you're basically at this point hiding it because you're not being forthcoming with it, you know it's going to be an issue for him. You know it's going to be an issue for him. So why are you playing this game with yourself? Why are you playing this game with yourself? You already know that is going to be an issue. Your man over here, your friends over here. Now, can you live a life where he doesn't deal with your friends? Is he going to want to live a life where he doesn't deal with your friends? But most people who have this kind of stuff going on, which I'm going to stick out and say he's petty. Most people who are petty like this, they have a whole issue and they will want to control that whole thing, and it will be a deal breaker, I promise you. And you 28, or who's 28? He's 28. No, you're 28. He's in his early you're early 20s. He's early 30s. He's early 30s. Child, scrap this shit. Scrap this. Scrap this. If you want to have sex with him, go ahead and have sex with him. But you're not going to build a relationship with him. I'm just telling you. You are not going to build a relationship with him. It's not going to happen. It is not. It's not going to happen. Nope. Ain't no need in wasting a whole bunch of time. I mean, because the more you went on, I know the type, and ain't nobody got time for that. He don't like effeminate. He got an issue with you being country. Tell he don't like country people. He make comments about country people. Well, you can't turn that off. You can't turn that off. So he's going to, when he meets your friends, he's not going to care for them. What about when he meets your family? He ain't going to like them either. Because I know you ain't country by yourself. You're not country by yourself. You got some country parents, some country grandparents, some country cousins, maybe some country brothers and sisters. He ain't going to like them either. So it's just going to be you and him, and then you and your whole actual life somewhere. Child, I ain't even going to sit here and waste no more time with this. Scrap this. If you would like to go ahead and sleep with him, go on and sleep with him and leave it just like that. He's a good F buddy. And you go on and give him the good and the wet and the juice and all that and keep it moving. But anything meaningful, he not the one. That's my opinion. That comes from me being around for so long, and that's been my experience. Could I be wrong? Sure, but we know I'm not. And on that, thank you for writing in, baby. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. All right, talk to you later. All right, you guys, let's go into our next letter. This one actually has no title as well. And it goes like this. Good evening. I need your opinion on my situation concerning my family. Mainly my sister and my daughter. My boyfriend and I met 6 years ago, and our relationship is great. When we decided to be in a relationship, he met both my daughter and my son. My daughter's take to him was that he was cool. He was a cool person. And they even had conversations about life and whatnot. My son also had the same take as well. Now, enter my sister, and everything is drama. She constantly puts him down, and I defend him. I also feel that every time she has something negative to say about him, it's like she's trying to get me to tell her about him and our relationship. I also feel that she has put her feelings on him onto my daughter as well. Yes, we have had arguments that have got heated. But even then, she never knew the catalyst for said arguments. She addressed him as if he is not good enough for me, and she is going to make sure she gets rid of him at any cost. That is how it seems to me. I don't know if she's trying to be protective since I'm divorced, 18 years single mother. Okay? My boyfriend wants me to tell her about our relationship in the hopes that she and also my daughter will stop the negative comments concerning him. Just to give you a little history, I lost my job in 2016 and he moved in with me and paid bills. Then, a year later, he lost his job not long after I got my new job, and he stayed and helped with cooking, housekeeping, and even my mother. She's in her early stages of dementia. Sorry to hear that, baby. He is working now, and he continues to help me. How do I handle this situation? He is a good guy. Don't get me wrong. He speaks his mind no matter the situation and doesn't take BS from anyone. I just need direction on how to handle this before it gets too ugly. P.S. Sorry for writing a novel. This wasn't too bad. Now listen, this is easy. This is easy because from what you've actually explained here, your sister need to mind her business. And your daughter could go sit down too, actually, because I don't see anything that, from what you're saying here now, I don't see anything that he did wrong. You lost your job and he came and he moved in to lighten the load on you. And then he ended up out of work and you were back at work. And he just, he took care of the house while you were working, and y'all are just pushing forward, and you don't seem to have a problem with it. So they can't even go on that. What y'all did was, y'all did what people do in a relationship. You fell on hard times. I put in what I could put in to make times easier for you. He fell on hard times. You jumped in and did what you needed to do to make things easier for him. Y'all did what people in a relationship do. And as far as a man goes, don't you want a man that speaks his mind? Do you want someone to push around? Because I know I don't. Do you want a man that you have to guess what he said? No, I want to know exactly what you're thinking, and then I can either agree to disagree, or whatever. But I don't need you sit around playing no games. I need to know that you are going to handle business, and I don't want you letting people push you around, and not even me. So, how do you sound like a catch to me? Now, I don't even know where they're going with this. It wasn't, you didn't say that once he was out of work, this is when the problem started. No, it seemed like the problem started somewhere before then. I don't know. And it's like, what, 6 years? 6 years? And this is it? Girl, you need to tell your daughter to chill out and stand down. And your sister definitely needs to stand down and mind her business. I don't see where the problem is. I don't see where the problem is at all. At all. And I wouldn't be arguing with my sister about my man. We wouldn't be doing a heated argument. How does the argument between you and your sister about your man get heated? That says right away that she doing too much. She got too much vested in it. If there ain't something going on that you're not saying, see, if there's something that you're not saying, then please say that. Are you having to go to your sister for things with the fact that he's not working? Is that why her stance is this? That's something different. But from what you've written, I'm going to say, mind your business, daughter, stand down. Girl, you and your man keep on. Don't screw up your relationship, because you be sitting back up here single and everybody else will still be just as miserable as they are now. And your daughter was okay. What happened? So if there's not something else going on that you haven't written, I say, girl, shut them down and keep moving forward. If there's something else going on that you're not telling me, then you need to write it in, and then I'll go ahead and update. But from what I'm looking at, girl, you all right. You got it going on in the relationship department. You okay? You all right. Anyway, all right, like I said, that one was easy, baby. Thank you so much for writing in. Girl, enjoy yourself, honey. He all right. All righty, you guys. On to our next letter. This one is entitled, Everything Happens for a Reason, right? Okay, let's go. Let's see. Dear James, I'm apologizing in advance because this is going to be lengthy, but I have to give you all the details. I will proofread though. Laugh out loud. Anyway, to start off, I am 29 and I've been married to my husband, who's 30, for almost 2 years. We are from a small town in Texas. However, we moved to the state capital after about 2 years ago. Reasons to follow. My husband, who we will call Paul, is adopted and lost both of his adoptive parents when we were in high school around 2006, 2007. After losing his parents and graduating high school, he served in the Air Force, but eventually got out and moved back home. Now, fast forward to 2015. Paul, his best friend, and I were talking and came up with the idea to look for his biological mom. He had tried to look for her before, but the adoption agency basically told him she didn't want anything to do with him. The adoption agency in question didn't really seem too organized, so we weren't 100% sure they had even reached out to her. So after looking on Ancestry and Facebook, we ended up finding her information and her Instagram. We decided it would probably be better if I reached out to her playing the concerned girlfriend role. I sent her an Instagram message telling her who I was and explaining Paul wanted to possibly have a relationship with her, etc. Well, James, let's just say that message didn't go over too well. Laugh out loud. But she did say to let Paul reach out to her, which he did, and they started to develop a rapport, and he even had plans to go visit her and meet her husband and his brothers. And she told him the agency never let her know he was looking for her. Now, I hope you're still with me, James, because this is where the story gets a little convoluted. So the year is 2016, and Paul's biological mom randomly woke up one day and couldn't use her legs. Oh my gosh. She ended up going into the hospital and had to have surgery. Sadly, she passed away from cardiac arrest while having surgery. All of this happened unbeknownst to my husband. After not hearing from his mom for a while, Paul decided to text her and see how she was doing. After sending the message, he got a response, but it wasn't from her. It was from her husband, who said she had passed, and even though he wasn't aware she had another son, he still wanted to finish what she started and meet him and have him meet his brothers. Her husband said a family friend, aka the mom's best friend, next door neighbor, by the name of Jezebel, would be in touch with him. Jezebel reaches out to Paul and is very, very pushy. She is basically saying that she wanted him to move to their city and get to know all of them ASAP. Really? Yeah, okay, lady. And even though she doesn't know him, she loves him already. I didn't mention this, but they all lived right outside the state capital, which coincidentally was the same city Paul and I were already wanting to move to after I graduated college. Seems like destiny, right? So at this point, I didn't really have a good feeling about Jezebel. You don't say. But we both wanted to get away from our city, and my best friend lived out there too, so we decided to move. Paul moved to stay with Jezebel, and I lived with my friend. Say what, Willis? What? Okay. All right. All right. Okay. You know you just lost me, right? But okay. Okay. All right. So you moved with your friend. Paul moved with old Jesse, old Jezebel. Okay. A few months after her passing, Jezebel and the deceased best friend's husband started dating and got engaged. Now you can imagine how well that went over with everyone. She got the right name, don't she? Finally, Now that's the backstory is how, wait, now that the backstory is out of the way, I can get into my real grievances. From the time that we moved here, Jezebel has never really made an effort to get to know me. I feel as if she is only really concerned with my husband. She will invite him over to her house to vent about her relationship because she says he reminds her of his mom, her so-called best friend. She is always telling him about how much she loves him, and when he was in the hospital, she caused so much drama from having the nurses think she was his wife while I was away, to calling herself being mad because we eloped and did not tell her we were married, and she had to find out like everyone else while my husband was hospitalized. She even went as far as to making it seem to his family like I wasn't concerned about is concerned about him, not his. Him as I should have been. Mind you, she doesn't even know his family, and I was in my last semester of grad school while he was in the hospital. I was stressed out. He was not even conscious most days, and I was extremely overwhelmed. At that moment, the last thing I needed was extra nonsense. This lady had even alluded to my master's not being worth much. I had told Paul that I don't feel comfortable with him going to her house because she makes no effort to get to know me, yet she can constantly want to be in his company. I even went as far as to tell Paul he can't go to her house alone. However, considering he works close to her house and we live far, it's not really feasible for him to come home, get me the drive almost 45 minutes back to the place he just left. So I know he sometimes stops by after work, and the biological mom's husband lives there, so he's always around when Paul stops by. Paul doesn't seem to see my point of view and tells me that Jezebel doesn't think she did anything wrong given the hospital situation, so I can either be the bigger person or not, so that they can all move on from the hospital drama, but I can't. I didn't do anything wrong. I refuse to kiss Jezebel's ass just because she's old enough to be my mom. James, I really want everyone to get along, but Jezebel is just too much. Her take over spirit and trying to tell people what they need to do doesn't gel well with me. What do you think I should do? I have been contemplating on telling her exactly how I feel, but that might not be best. My husband doesn't like drama, and part of me feels like he feels indebted to Jezebel for letting him stay with her and does not want me to offend her. Sorry again, the message is so long, but like I mentioned, I wanted to give you a thorough picture. First of all, listen. I don't trust Jezebel, okay? Jezebel seems like she got a little slick something going on. Something about her just don't seem right to me. But I got lost at it when you went to the friend and he went to her. That's where I got lost, and that's where everything else got lost. That's where the problems all started. Like, as soon as you all did that, that was like the worst decision ever. And things ain't been right ever since, it looks like. You two allowed her to infiltrate. She infiltrated and she brought drama. Now, I don't know how you're going to get out of this drama without saying what you have to say, because this ain't going to get better. This is not going to get better. You have to tell Jezebel, and it just wears me thin that her name is Jezebel. You need to let her know how you feel about her, and then you just deal with it from there. Because there's no way I would be sitting around, hold my tongue and bite my tongue and carrying on and playing with her and letting her run me. She's not your mother. She's not your mother. She's not your stepmother. She's not anything to you. And I would let her ass have it. I would let her know, don't talk to me crazy. Don't down me. Don't do any of those things. Whatever she was doing that I didn't like, I would let her know. And then we'll go from there. And he don't like drama. Okay, well, he'll be okay. One little speck of drama is not going to kill him. He'll be okay. We're going to do this one piece of drama, and then everything else from here going forward should be smooth. And if it's not, then we'll deal with it accordingly. And I do mean accordingly. If it don't clear up, you deal with him and Jezebel's ass. You understand? Period. But yeah, when you two went the two separate ways, y'all allowed that Jezebel spirit right into the midst of your marriage, honey. But that's okay. It is what it is. Now fix it. That's what I say. I say take it to Jezebel's neck, honey. Go right on up in Jezebel, honey, and let her know how you feel. Tell him, sorry for the drama, boo, but this is necessary. And like I said, from that point, either she could either get with the program or she'd come out of a bag on you, and then you do what you need to do, Ma. Deal with him and deal with Jezebel if needed. That's my advice. And do it like yesterday. Don't keep waiting. ASAP. Like she wanted you to move ASAP, let her ass have it ASAP. All right, boo. Jezebel. Ooh, a mess. All right, you guys, let's go on to the next letter. This letter is actually titled, Was I Wrong? Dear Ash James, I really value your opinion, so I'm reaching out to you for your unbiased opinion. My first husband contacted me through email after not having had any contact with one another for approximately 15 years. Needless to say, I was shocked. A little background on the marriage. We dated for 2 years and was married for 5 years. The relationship was filled with lies and infidelity on his part, and my being young, naive, and thought that if I held on long enough, I could change him and make him love me. James, he was my first love, and there wasn't anything I wouldn't do for him. I stayed through the lies, infidelity, and even a baby with another woman. One day he comes to me and says he wants out of the marriage, so I had to let go. My self-esteem was really low after him, and it took me a while to pull myself together. But by the grace of God, I did and met my true love, my late husband. We were very happy together. Now, back to the story. The email started off with him asking how I've been. I replied back that I was doing well and asked how he was. We emailed back and forth, catching up on each other's lives. I told him that I did remarry, but was now a widow and had 2 kids. He asked if he could meet me for lunch. I was apprehensive about meeting for lunch, but eventually decided to go. Lunch was pleasant enough. We talked about some more, and I asked him if he had remarried. When he answered the question, he hesitated, but eventually said no, he had not, but had come close a couple of times. My spidey sense went up because I felt that he was lying. I finished lunch and headed back to my side of town. On my drive home, he texted, said he enjoyed my company and to please keep in touch, and that I'm still his best friend. I smell bullshit. That confused me, but oh well. About a week or so later, I finally decided to Google him and see what I could find out about him, because I felt he was lying about the married thing. And sure enough, he had indeed remarried. I was pissed off. Why lie about that? Because he's a liar. Because he's a liar. Come on. I couldn't decide if I should say something or just let sleeping dogs lie. Well, I went ahead and messaged him and said that I knew he was married and why lie about it. That after all these years, he still has very little respect for me, and all of this just brought up hurtful memories from the past. And that he was still he was still the same person. James, he got upset with me. He texted, and I quote, FYI, I've been separated for a year. What's with all the negative feedback? You and I are only friends, so stop making a big deal of this. Stop being so quick to judge. I only contacted you just to see how you were doing anyway. He dismissed me with take care and have a good life. I don't want, need, or expect anything from him at this stage in my life. I didn't think I was making a big deal out of this or being negative. I'm simply confused as to why he couldn't be upfront about something that is really of no consequence to me. I should have left things at the email stage and not gone any further. All this did was bring up sad memories and made me realize I never got closure from the relationship. I guess that's why all of this still hurts. No acknowledgement or apologies of the pain that was caused from years ago. Sorry for being so long. Well, child, this is easy, honey. He's a liar. He ain't gonna never be nothing but a liar. And you basically wasted your time. And you knew it. You knew it before you even went. You knew before you drank the water with the lemon in it at the lunch that you ain't had no business there. No business at all. And the thing about no closure, you should actually feel like you got closure now. Ain't no good. It is what it is. 15 years have actually gone by and you still on the same stuff. Still on the same stuff. If that ain't closure, baby, I don't know what to tell you. I would be so done, and I would never speak to him again. I would do just like he said, have a good life, and I would never speak to him again. I wouldn't. That child, ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. And the reason why he lied because he was getting ready to try to get back up on you some more. That's what he was going to do. If he could have pulled that past you, next thing you knew, you'd have been back in a little whirlwind romance with your ex, honey. And the next thing you know, you'd have been somewhere crying because he lied and got you all jammed all up again. He lied because he had a plan. That's why he lied. And yeah, if there was closure you needed, there's closure you got, honey. Leave him alone. To hell with him. Full of crap. Nobody deserve all that mess. And then all that defense. He's the one who was all defensive. And then gonna say the thing when he said, we're only just friends anyway. That told the story right there. We're only just friends anyway. He tried to throw it back on you and throw it in your face. Man, if you don't get your ass somewhere and sit down, he's horrible. Horrible. And he did you a favor. You dodged a bullet. Trust me. All right, baby. Thank you for writing in. Listen, go live. Don't dwell in the past, because there is nothing good in that past. I don't know about the good times, but you sure did seem to have a lot of bad times. Cheating, extra babies. Nobody got time for that. You're a grown woman. You ain't got time for that mess. Go find you somebody new. That already didn't work, honey. If you want to date someone new. All right, baby. You take care. And forget him. All right. Later. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. That is it today for Ask James. I will meet you back here at the same time next week. We will do this all over again. If you want to write a letter into me, you can either send it to my P.O. Box at James Colwell, P.O. Box 99432. That's Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 15233. Or you can email it to me at spillitboy@gmail.com, and I'll take a stab at it and see what I can figure out on this side. All right, thank you so much. I'll see you guys next week. Later.